Welcome to Big Bike BMX, and today I want to talk to you about one of the most fundamental tricks you can possibly learn as far as freestyle on these big bikes, and it's called an endo. It's something that we used to do a ton of in the 80s when we were doing Flatland BMX. It's basically it's one of the fundamentals because it's a building block for every trick you'll do from this point out. It helps you get up on the front wheel, which gets you momentum to get back on the back wheel for other back wheel tricks. Anything that involves you going backwards, backwards wheelies, skids, all of it. The endo is one of the easiest tricks to learn, but it's also the base of most of everything else you're gonna learn. So it's a good one to learn, and it's actually pretty easy to do. You don't have to have a front brake, but it does make it easier. So I'll walk through doing it with my PK Ripper, which has a front brake, and then also on my big Ripper, which does not. So there's a couple of little variants I do in here. One of them is a one-hander. You can't really see because it kind of happens off camera and real quick, but there's lots of variations you can do to this. I also do a 180. We used to call it a rock walk, but because I didn't go all the way back around, it's just a 180. Rock walks, basically you go up, you spin around, and then end up going the same way. So it's a 180 to 180. This one I just do a 180 to show you what it is. So, but it's a good fundamental to learn, and afterwards, hopefully you can build on this and make your own. Whatever tricks you want to make up, but it's a good way to learn the fundamentals of Flatland with the endo. Hey, what's up? It's Isaac from Big Bike BMX, and I've been posting some Flatland pictures on my Instagram recently, and people are like, hey, how do you do that trick? So I figured I'd show you a couple of just fundamental Flatland freestyle stuff to kind of get your mind thinking and help you along this journey to doing something other than just wheelies on your big Ripper, 29er, or your 27.5 PK Ripper, whatever big bike you have. This is basically just the entry level. What is the first trick you need to learn? And in my opinion, the first trick you should learn if you want to start doing freestyle, big gust of wind. The first trick you should learn if you want to kind of get into freestyle on these big bikes is called an endo. And it's literally just going up on the front wheel of your bike. Just front wheel up. It's a fun trick to do because you kind of feel weightless. It's the opposite of a wheelie, but it's still kind of the same feeling, only you're in stationary. The easiest way to do it is if you have a bike that has a front brake. So my PK Ripper has a hydraulic front brake. The Monster Quads, the Maniac Flyers, the Beast Modes, they all come with a front brake. Hold on, there's another loud car. All right, so all of those bikes come with a front disc brake, which will work really well. And the basic fundamentals of an endo is you're gonna ride over your bike, you're gonna kind of compress down, and all in one movement, you're gonna squeeze the front brake, which is gonna stop your momentum rolling forward. You wanna go at about a medium speed, not fast, but not super slow either. Faster, if you're an old Flatlander like me, you're gonna wanna go faster than you did on a 20-inch bike because because it's a bigger bike, you need to go a little bit faster to get the front end up, but not much. So you're gonna compress your body down like you're gonna do a jump, only you're gonna lock the front brake, and then the motion is you're compressed down like this, you're kind of down on your pedals, and as soon as you lock the brake, it's almost like like if you're gonna throw like a fake free throw where you're trying to fake somebody out, you're just gonna wanna uncompress but not jump in the air. And as you uncompress and you lock the front brake, it's gonna easily come up on the front wheel. So you kind of feel the balance point of how high you can go on your bike. You'll feel the balance point, and then you'll just kind of stop, you'll float. The bike can turn left and right, so you're gonna wanna keep your hips kind of tight so you don't fall over. But you will probably stay up this way, and you can turn your handlebars a little bit while you're in that endo to control how the bike is tilting and things like that. Then you just come back down, let go of your brake, and ride away. So that's on a bike with a brake. So the other thing that I will show you is here on the big Ripper. If you look at this bike, right down here, there's no front brake. There's nothing there. So when freestyle started, we didn't have front brakes on our bikes. So what would you do? It's a little bit different. You're actually gonna ride, and while you're riding your bike, you are going to get to the point where you're comfortable, and then if you look down here, I'm going to press my foot into the foot jam into the fork in the tire, which then stops your momentum and you'll go up on the front wheel. It's a little bit more difficult, but that's how you can do it without a front brake. Still totally doable. You can still balance the same way. Your weight's a little bit farther forward, but you'll get the idea of what it's like to go up on that front wheel. This is the fundamental flatland trick that kind of opens up all the rest of the stuff that you're going to do later on, like lawnmowers and skids and backwards wheelies and stuff like that. The endo is the fundamental trick. So I got the chassis strapped up, so you can kind of watch me do it over the bike, and we'll see how this goes. Stay tuned. All right. So again, if you see, I'm just going to grab my front brake, I'm going to compress down and come up on my front wheel. So I'm up a little bit, up, back down. Come out here and do one. Okay. I'm going to lock my front wheel and compress, extend, turn. So because my weight is starting to lean to the left when I go up, you'll see me turn my handlebar so I don't fall over, and that's what I'm talking about when I say control the endo in the midst of this. So I'm sitting, going to lock and come up, come back down. Right away. Then as you get better, you can work on extending. And then it's pretty easy to ride away afterwards. So there's a bit of a pause at the top. It's where the balance point is. And then you can work on doing like one-handers. I'll take my left hand or right hand off. Didn't get up high enough, but my right hand will come off because I turn the handlebar and lean it on my thigh. That's something you can do. You can actually do a 180. So I'll turn into it. So the 180, you'll just kind of turn and then ride out. Just a basic endo again. I'm gonna come in. It's 116 degrees today in Phoenix, and just that little bit of riding, my levers are hot. Now we'll do it on the big gripper with no front brake, just to give you an idea what that's like. I haven't ridden this bike in a minute, so this has been my son's bike lately. So I'm going to put my foot up in the front wheel like this. If you can see that, put my foot right in there, and that will stop. I'll do the same thing. I'll come up and do an endo. Oh, I didn't commit. So I ended up doing like a bit of a front wheel wheelie. So that's the foot jam endo. And then right away. So that's the two kinds of endos you can learn right away, basic flatland tricks on your big ripper or your PK ripper. All right, so that's Endo 101. Pretty easy trick. I think with about 30 minutes of time, you'll be able to pick it up. I was outside, man. It's 116 degrees today, so it was way too hot, man. I was starting to overheat and get a headache that quick because in Phoenix, man, it's brutal. The sun is. But in about 30 minutes, you can probably pick this trick up easily. It's something that you can do just about anywhere with or without the brake. Don't be afraid to go too high. Very rare. I don't really remember a whole lot of times where I went over the front wheel when I was learning this as a kid. But if you do, just basically as you start to go too far over and you realize, hey, I'm gonna go all the way over the bars. Basically, take your feet off the pedal and just throw the bike, jump over the bike. Basically, you throw the bike under your legs, and you'll land on your feet. You probably won't end up on your face. It's a scary thought, but it never happened to me. But wear a helmet, wear some safety pads, but you should be just fine. I think we actually learned this maybe in the grass when I was a kid. Like you'd ride up to someone's lawn and do the endo right on the edge of the lawn just in case. So maybe that's something that'll help you out. But anyway, man, it's a fun trick and it's a good fundamental to know. So get out there, ride your bike, be creative. You can do more than just front wheel wheelies on these bikes. You can do more than just ride down the street. You can do more than combos. And I truly believe that we're at the brink of a whole new movement with these big bikes because although combos are really fun and they're fun to watch, I think the folks that are out there doing combos are looking for more creative ways to ride their bikes. That's what got you into combos in the first place. They're flashy and they look cool. So if you look at like a lot of the 80s flatland that we used to do as a kid, that I used to do, a lot of it's super flashy and super fun. I've posted up a couple pictures of some flatland tricks on my Instagram, which is at Big Bike BMX. And people are like, that's really cool. And it's just basic stuff. There was recently one with a lawnmower, which once you know how to do an endo, the lawnmower, you could probably learn that trick in about 45 minutes. It's not hard at all. It looks flashy, but it's not hard at all. So if you like this, let me know, comment, like, and I'll do some more flatland tutorials to show, hey, what you could probably do with a little bit of effort with these bikes. I've already gone out and done like tail whips and things like that. So it's not hard to do big, tricks, flatland tricks on these big bikes. And so it could open up a whole new arsenal of tricks that you can do. It's going to give you better balance and better bike control, even if you don't use these tricks. So it's just another way to have fun on these bikes and have a good time. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.